So I'm Norm Ornstein. I'm a resident scholar at a think tank called the American Enterprise Institute, but we're here today because of the foundation we set up in memory of our son, Matthew, the Matthew Harris Ornstein Foundation, that was a principal funder of the documentary, The Definition of Insanity.
And I'm Judy Harris. I'm a lifelong practicing attorney. But after we lost our 34-year-old son 5 years ago, I've devoted most of my time to running the Matthew Harris Ornstein Foundation, which we established in his memory.
At a forum in Boston run by Patrick Kennedy, we heard this remarkable judge, Steve Leifman, talk about the program that he had in Miami. And then a short while later, I met him and his mother at a conference in Washington where he was being honored as the top judge in the state and local courts in the country. And we began to communicate. And then we decided that it would be worthwhile to immerse ourselves in the program. He said, come on down to Miami. We were blown away by it. Even though Matthew had never really gotten caught up in the criminal justice system, so many people with serious mental illness do, and it's a tragedy in so many ways. And we thought this would be a terrific thing to spread around the country, especially as we discovered that a lot of places had no idea about it. At the same time, a young filmmaker named Gabe London, who had known Matthew from school and we knew his family, had done his own film on criminal justice and mental illness. And I suggested to him that maybe Steve Leifman would be another subject. And we decided together to do this film and use it as a catalyst to spread around the country, to spread best practices.